It's Bob and Tom Tonight, starring Chick McGee, Christy Lee, Josh Arnold, Ace Cosby, Pat Godwin, Willie Griswold, and Tom Griswold.
And we have a special guest.
And we do. We have a surprise for our special guest, too.
Oh, my.
I've always wondered where Marc Summers. His last name was
I've always wondered where Jonathan Winters.
Where Tom
nowhere anymore.
fell.
Well, that's
Wow. It got cold in here fast. Marc Summers, I guess the best description. Television personality, you know him from Double Dare and many other things.
He's an icon.
And I just thought of you a couple weeks ago.
Tell me why.
This is see if you can guess.
Okay, it's going to have something to do with obsessive compulsive disorder.
No, that's the thing. It didn't.
Oh, my.
I was reading a book about the Doors.
Oh, okay.
Is this giving you any kind of a hint?
No.
Okay.
I thought this was the Marc Summers dream you had where he's kissing you on your forehead.
No.
Yeah.
Telling you
Wasn't
everything's
that one?
okay.
I'd rather hear that one.
Yeah.
I was reading.
We'd all rather
Remember you
hear
were
that
Big
one.
Spoon?
He says I
the
double
great
dare you to kiss me.
excuse me. The great guitarist for the Doors, Robbie Krieger, has a really good book called "Set the Night on Fire."
It's unreadable.
And at one point, he talks about working with drummer Mike Berkowitz.
My brother.
Yeah.
That's your brother.
That's right. My brother, who, when the Doors dissolved after Mr. Morrison decided to take things into his own hands in a bad way, they started a band called the Butts Band, and my brother was the drummer for the Butts Band.
And I saw his name. I know that guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's got to be pissed. You got the hair gene. You've got like Elvis hair, and
Yeah, it's insane. I don't know why that is. But,
he's the rock star. What happened?
I know. It's insane.
But your brother is a world-class drummer.
He is. When he was 15 years old, living here in Indianapolis, he was playing for Johnny Mathis and Henry Mancini. They would come and pick him up and put his drums in the back of this van and drive him to Chicago. And he would go up there and play gigs when he was 15, 16 years old.
Wow.
He was at the Playboy Club when he was like 17 in Chicago. I mean, he has stories. He was on the road with Liza for 10 years. Those stories, you got to have him on the show if he'll even talk about that stuff. And then he conducted for Marvin Hamlish for about 10 years. And then when my brother got a better review than Marvin fired him.
And Marvin, by the way, is sleeping with Jonathan Winter.
Yeah, he is.
So, there you go. Marc also, beside being well known for his work in television, wrote a book that I read a few years back.
A few years, 1999, I wrote that.
Called Everything in Its Place.
Yeah.
I love the story.
It's a great book.
And it's a story about your struggles with OCD.
Yep.
Give me the short, the précis, if you will, of the book.
Well, what happened was I was hosting a talk show on Lifetime called Biggers and Summers, and we had a doctor on, Dr. Eric Hollander, and when I was doing the research the night before, it was all about something called, I had never heard of it, obsessive compulsive disorder, and as I was doing the research, I went, oh my God, I've been doing that, I do that, I do that. I think I have this thing. And so on national TV the next day, I sort of poured my guts out and said, I think I have this. I seem to be in much better shape than you, apparently, because I kind of don't do it anymore, but you're still kind of suffering with it. Huh?
I'm not
suffering.
Do you see what Marc is
I'm loving
politely
it.
saying to you here, Tom? It's when he comes on, he would just shut up about it.
No, I just, there's a scene where you wake up in the middle of the night, your wife
Marc
comes...
knows the scene. He wrote the book.
You know what I was saying.
I want you to know you're in a safe place, Tom.
We
all
like you,
love
Tom.
His wife comes out
It's
in the middle of the
okay.
night. He's combing the hair on the bottom of the carpeting. He has a
not hair,
birthday
it's
party for his then young child, and he's stapling butcher paper to the
Well,
walls.
I wouldn't put staples. I taped it.
So of course, so they wouldn't get the fingerprints on the walls.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What's the wackiest thing you've done?
Oh, geez.
Today?
He hoards newspapers, but that's kind of
Not
going
anymore.
away.
I don't believe you.
I don't have. In
You've
fact,
got him somewhere.
Oh, he's got stacks and stacks of iPads in his
You know,
closet.
this is the first time I've been here with your son. Explain to me what it was like growing up in the house with that going on.
It was great because, there was always clean towels because he did laundry 10 times a day.
Right.
got to do that.
There was always, newspapers so we could do our art projects without making a mess. A lot of various safety goggles, Marc, for cooking bacon or for lighting off fireworks or for
Just walking around the house.
just walking around the house, just in
So,
case.
did the gene transfer to you at all?
I mean, not at all.
Yeah, no.
Good.
But then, didn't you, one of your favorite games was taking the Pam spray food
Oh, this is
The cooking spray, yeah.
The cooking spray.
If you have a gas cooktop.
If you have a gas cooktop.
Which, by the way, I would highly recommend.
Of course.
What you do with little kids, and I still have several of them, you do this magic trick where you take your hand and you go boosh, and then you secretly spray the stuff with a nice open flame. It's the best.
They're encouraging people to do this in front of children.
Yeah.
No,
Do you have
Set
to
them
say
on fire.
boosh?
Yeah, you have to, or you can say abracadabra, whatever you want. Just to, I don't mean to obsess about this obsessive compulsive.
No, that would never happen.
However,
yes, sir.
Mr. Godwin has taken the time and trouble. You can see him up on the big screen.
Oh!
I feel for those who have OCD, but I don't have OCD. I'm sorry for those with OCD, but I don't have OCD. 1 for the O, 2 for the C, 3 for the D, OCD. Won't you sing along with me in groups of 3? OCD. Forming a line behind me. Don't bend your knees. OCD. Every 5th verse, change the key. OCD, OCD. Wash your hands, be germ-free. Sing it twice. OCD. Did I lock that door? Go back and see. OCD. OCD. Is the oven on? It just might be. OCD, OCD. Song is over in the second D. OCD, OCD.
Nice little tribute
Very nice.
to obsessive compulsive disorder.
Could you do that 3 more times?
So you are pretty much, you don't have any.
No, I always say I'm about 86% sure. I tell you what helped, believe it or not. COVID changed everything in everybody's lives. But when I realized I was sort of trapped and I could sort of contemplate my navel, I moved up to the central coast of California and started taking walks. 5-mile walks every day is what I do. And it just kind of brought me down to a whole different space. And I do not obsess about that stuff anymore. It's interesting.
He is Marc Summers. And off the air, we were talking about this and that. And you have kind of like different generations know you for different things.
It's so true. A Double Dare, I guess, is what got it all started. And then I moved over to the Food Network doing Unwrapped and exec producing Dinner and Restaurant Impossible. But I did a guest spot on a show called Workaholics. And that show just exploded. And a whole different group of humans, found me. And it just was fun. I mean, literally, I walked down the street and people go, hey, did you get to keep the bear suit? I mean, that's what they always ask.
What was the Workaholics thing?
Workaholics. It's a great show on Comedy Central with Adam Devine and Blake Anderson, these young comics out of L.A. Super funny.
Did you play yourself, Mark?
I play myself. Everything I've ever done. I've done voices on 1 million cartoons, and I always play myself because they know I can't act. So if I can't play myself, I'm screwed,
Cartoons?
Yeah, I've done a lot of voiceovers on a lot of cartoons. I started on Robot Chicken and have done 1 million episodes of that. And then I've done a couple of Nickelodeon cartoons. I was on, what's the other Seth MacFarlane show that I did?
Family Guy or American Dad?
No, keep going. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe I did it. Anyway, the one with the black couple.
The Cleveland show?
I did a Cleveland show where they did a whole thing about Cleveland not getting along with his dad because he screwed up the obstacle course, and so they redid the whole obstacle course, and I played me. So I got to tell you a story, but I have to be very careful about telling this story. So at the end, Cleveland can't get the flag, and I'm yelling, "Get the flag! Get the flag! Get the effing flag!" Okay, and I did the take like 1 time, 2 times, 3. I did it like 17 times, and I finally said to Bruce in the booth, I said, "Can you give me some direction or something? Am I not doing it right?" And he goes, "Oh no, you got it like on the second take. It's just hysterical to hear you keep saying that word over and over."
Because you've been working clean your whole life.
My whole life.
So, have you ever been slimed?
Oh, Jesus.
There's
He
Willie
comes in the
Griswold.
show, and I talk about his book.
The question I hate more than
forgotten he wrote.
The one I hate, I just did a reunion for our high school, and I got asked 1 million times, when you did the Tonight Show with Burt Reynolds, was that real? And I'm just so tired of answering that question.
Oh, I love that clip.
Oh, my God. Stop it already.
If you're wondering what this is about, just Google it. It's
Yeah,
there.
right,
It's
please.
all. It's there.
It's there. And it was real.
Yeah.
Is that your most Googled thing, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
It always comes up in all the feeds. It's so funny.
There was an incident.
I get uncomfortable watching it, but
Yeah.
Why do you get uncomfortable?
Well, man, it is.
because he's so. I'm totally on your side.
Yeah,
in
well, I
this.
appreciate that. As you should be.
He's just so. He's trying to hurt you.
Yeah,
it really bothers me.
He was trying to hurt me. You're right. He and at the end of the segment, the NBC attorneys ran out to me and said, "Are you okay? You know, you're not going to sue us, are you?" I mean, that was all they were worried about is, was I going to sue NBC because this guy went nuts on me, you know?
I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Mark, but Ace is a master of the joke.
Oh, Lord.
And I thought, as I know you kind of came up doing magic and hosting and all sorts of things, I thought perhaps a little school in the art of telling a joke.
Who's that sexy man with a deep voice? Ace Cosby, here he is with his joke of the day.
That guy who stole my diary, he just died.
Oh, boy.
Now my thoughts are with his family.
That was Ace Cosby's joke of the day.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. I like it.
That was good.
What the hell are you all laughing at?
I get you guys all the time on my phone, and I look forward to when you do this every day.
Yes, that's true. How kind.
We're going to take a break. We're going to come right back. We have a couple of news stories. What stinks in Salt Lake City? Boy, there's a lot of answers to that. Let's see. What do you get Putin for his birthday?
Oh, boy.
Well, someone got him something.
How about an army?
How about a cyanide pill?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's...
let's see. Oh, and actually, a pleasant story. There's a happy ending to something involving the hurricane. The hurricane?
The hurricane.
Oh, the hurricane.
Well, a happy ending in a hurricane makes sense.
I hope that hurricane hits me.
Well, there has to
always
be
want a happy ending with a hurricane, you know?
There has to be a pornographic film called The Hurricane.
There was a porn movie called Double Dare. Honest to God, talk about taking a physical challenge. Right?
Okay,
Happy now?
we'll find out more when we come back. This is the Bob and Tom Show. When we last left you, Mark was talking about the fact that someone decided to make a pornographic video, taking the title Double Dare.
Yeah.
I believe it was
With Deborah Dare, by the way, was
starring Mark Summers.
Hey.
What? I
Guess that slime is a little rough.
People at Nickelodeon are spinning in their graves right now.
These are all true facts.
True fact.
That's the question you get the most about, I assume, the slime stuff.
Yeah, you know, how many times were you slimed? Did you like getting slimed? You know, and all that kind of good stuff. And you know, the fascination of people who go into my various, you know, social media. I've always wanted to get slimed. I've never quite understood. But the first day, now keep in mind, when I auditioned, I didn't know anything about obstacle courses or anything. I was going to host a game show, so I get the job and I go into the studio and here are all these obstacles and they're pouring, you know, green stuff and whipped cream and chocolate syrup. And I said, what the hell is this? And they said, well, at the end of the show, they do the bonus round, and if they can run through these 8 obstacles in 60 seconds or less, they win all these prizes. And I said, do you really think kids would want to do that? That's what a genius I was, okay? And that bought me a house in Santa Barbara.
What was the temperature of the slime? That's what I've always wondered.
Generally, it was rather cold, okay? And it could shock you. Sometimes coming out, you know, they try to get it room temperature, but it wasn't always that easy to do. So the males would know shrinkage from that. Okay, it's that's kind of the direction we're going. It's that bad.
Where was that filmed?
Well, we initially started at WHYY in Philadelphia. Then we moved it to New York for a short time, back to Philly for a couple of months, and then we were down at the Nick Studios in Orlando, Florida for quite a while.
Is it still out there?
No, gone. Shut it down. Sad.
I mean, is it being rerun anywhere?
Oh, God, yeah. You know, I went back right before COVID and shot, how many episodes did we do? I don't know, like 60, 70 new episodes. I was not the host. This was fun. I kept trying to bring it back forever. So Nickelodeon calls me in home and says, hey, we're bringing back the show. Your persistence has paid off. I said, great. And they said, but you're not going to host it. And I said, oh, who's hosting it? And they said, we hired an influencer. And I said, I'm a 68-year-old guy. What the hell's an influencer? So this very nice young lady by the name of Liza Koshy hosted it. I was exec producer, and I was the announcer. So I became the sidekick. And every now and then she'd bring me out, and I'd do some stuff. So one day, she got laryngitis in the middle of the show. And they came to me, and they said, Liza can't talk. Can you go out and do the show? And I went, yeah, of course I can. And they said, well, how much rehearsal do you need? And I said, none. And they said, why? And I said, I do this in my sleep. So I went out and did it. The ratings skyrocketed those episodes. And then, they had to sort of decide, and they decided to stay with her, which was fine. But
how many? Do you happen to know how many you did altogether?
The original run was 525 episodes.
Wow.
And then we did another 60 and a Super Bowl special, so almost 600 episodes. Yeah.
So not very successful.
No. And here's the best part. Okay, you got to love this. So streaming channels. I question, you're paying $1 bazillion on your cable bill, and then now you got to pay $6.95 for Disney Plus and $7.95 for Paramount Plus and all this stuff and Discovery. And I thought, well, how much money are people actually going to, write a check for on a monthly basis? So I own a percentage of the show, have since day one, and because of Paramount Plus, I get a statement the other day for this check that was I said to my wife, does this say what I think it says? And so every 90 days they send me this boatload of money for things I did 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Because I signed, I'm in an it's a union gig, and they're running that stuff, and thank heavens.
Cool.
So, yeah, I keep making money from things I did when I was a young man. So it's pretty cool.
Very.
It makes sense.
Cool.
My inner child doesn't even know how to talk with you in this room because I'm kind of freaking out, very stunned.
Oh my God.
So then as I
There's a hug happening. There we go.
She's getting teary-eyed.
Miss Alsman's getting hugged by Mr. Summers. Isn't that sweet?
So anyway.
Or now, are you too nervous to do a couple news?
I can do news stories, but no, it's like my generation, when you find all these things on streaming platforms again, you can't wait to go back and watch them.
Yeah.
And then you're watching them with your kids.
Yeah.
So then they can enjoy it. So.
And the comments that people write about, we never realized the show is being done on 2 levels. Now they're getting the jokes that I told when they were 8,
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Watch the entire show live or on demand at bobandtom.com or listen live with the Bob and Tom app. And be sure to tune in next time for more Bob and Tom Tonight.